Well, hello guys. So this is going to be part 3 of my Batman comic collection series. So in this video, we'll be doing everything from Detective Comics between Crisis on Infinite Earths and the New 52. So this is Detective Comics Volume 1, and Detective Comics is kind of funny in that they are technically only one volume, but there is a Detective Comics Volume 2. When the New 52 came around, they restarted it at number 1, but since then they have retroactively gone back and gone to Volume 1 numbering, so the current issues of Detective Comics are in the thousands. So just to keep things simple for this video, I'm going to cut things off before the New 52, though Detective Comics is probably the longest running comic series at this point. Action Comics came around a little bit after. I think Detective Comics actually originally started in 1937. So, very long running comic series, even around before Batman, although Batman has become the flagship character that it's known for. And so I did all of my Silver, Bronze, and Copper Age in my first part of my Batman collection. So if you're interested in that, go check that out. But right now we're going to start with everything after Crisis on Infinite Earths. And the first one I have from that era is from 1987, and it is Detective Comics 579. Got that surgeon looking dude right there. And then next up we have a key book. This is 583, and of course that is a classic Mike Mignola cover. Phenomenal artist, but this is also the first appearance of Scarface and the Ventriloquist, which are some very interesting Batman characters. People who know Batman the Animated Series might know about them, and I could see characters like that definitely popping up in the Matt Reeves universe. It seems like a character that would be very fitting. Then we have Detective Comics 590. Love that cover there. That's really beautiful. Very nice image of Batman there. Then 592. That's a weird one right there. 594. Is a cover I find rather amusing. This is a cool one. 596. So you got Batman, he's kind of tied up a little bit, and it looks like he's sort of tied up in some film reels, so maybe this is involving the film freak? Not sure, but pretty cool looking cover there. 597. Got Batman up on the big screen, getting popped in the face. Gotta love it. And we have 598. This is an 80-page giant here. It says beginning the 50th anniversary adventure, and this is part 1 of a story called Blind Justice. And I do have the full story arc. So next up we have 599, and this is a pretty cool book. This is the first appearance, I believe, of Henry Ducard, who I think was one of the people who trained Batman. I believe he was kind of used in the Nolan films. Like, I think that something to do with Liam Neeson's character, but that's such a departure from the actual comics, so I don't really count that too much, but still pretty cool. Pretty important part of Batman's lore, so cool to have. And then we have issue 600, the anniversary issue, and the finale to Blind Justice. And then I have a lot in the 600s. I am pretty sure I have 601 and 602, but for some reason I just have not been able to find them. But I do have right here 603. That's a cool cover with a demon right there. I was saying before, I always love when Batman is on the gargoyles and then you got Demon there. He's kind of looks like a gargoyle himself, so pretty cool. And then this right here is a 4-part story called The Mud Pack. So it's a Clayface story. It starts in 604. 605, 606, and 607. What's kind of interesting about this is that I have another copy of 607 somewhere, and that copy was actually, that was like one of the first single issue comics I ever got, because I went to this bookstore that's in my area, and I was looking for like trades, hardcovers, stuff like that. So I went in and asked if they had comics, and the guy said he didn't, but you know, he'd be able to like order stuff online. But he pulled out a stack of like some single issues, and he had one copy of Detective Comics. It was 607. So eventually, when I became more of a comic reader, I wanted to start picking up more Batman stories. This was where I started, actually. I wanted to complete this story arc, so I wound up finding a full lot of them, so I did double dip and pick up an extra 607, but this was the issue that started it all, that started me down this path of collecting single issues. Just that trip to the bookstore, and then years later just kind of rediscovering it and deciding like, hey, I want to read this story. So picked up the rest of the books, and then while I was at it, kind of filled the rest of that little chunk of Detective Comics. So you'll see I have a lot from that sort of era. So that last one I showed you was 607. And then we have 608. This is the first appearance of Anarchy, who you see right there. And this character's actually popped up quite a bit. So I'm surprised that this book is still so cheap, honestly. Like, this book, I ordered it with a bunch of the other ones, and like, I couldn't have paid more than $2 for this. And I see people selling it for like 10, 15 bucks, but you know, this is a character that hasn't really been used much outside of comics, so maybe with the Matt Reeves universe, this seems like a character that would fit right in there, so that would be cool. Love to see it. And man, these books from this era, like, they are so common, so heavily reprinted, but they are just so much fun, and I really do like the covers for some of these. Right there, that's 609. Something about the way Batman's drawn on these covers. It's very simple, but kind of like it. Just kind of really captures what Batman's all about. So I think this one's 610. Yep. 610. A lot of gargoyles, a lot of graveyards. So it's a good era for Detective. 611. Got another one where Batman's kind of in a mobster's glasses. Oh, it's Penguin. I love that. I didn't even notice that was a Penguin cover. Oh my goodness. You got the umbrella there that you can see through his glasses, and then you got the cigarette holder in his mouth, and the hat. Oh my goodness. Yeah, I didn't even notice that that was a Penguin cover until just looking at it now. That's really cool. And then we have 612. Looks like we got Catwoman and maybe Catman right there. A lot of these written by Alan Grant, Norm Brayfogle art. You got Batman torn up by kitties right there. $6.13. Just love how Batman's face is all black and you can still see the expression on there. 614, looks like Batman's protecting some kids from a biker gang. And then in my last Batman video, I showed part 1 and part 3 to a story called The Penguin Affair, and part 2 was in Detective Comics. So that was issue 615 of Detective Comics. Got it right there. 616. Cool Joker cover. 617. It's kind of cult symbols there, and got all the bats on that yellow cover. Batman's looking kind of freaky there. So the Joker might have him under some kind of spell or something. I don't know. A lot of cool covers from this era, actually. You know, like, these are common books, but like some of these covers get a little slept on. Next up, got 618. You got Batman, Alfred, and Robin down there in the Batcave, and then you got some more of these kind of weird symbols, and then you got this dude in the top hat, and yeah, wonder what's going on there. Looks cool. A lot of these books from this era look really cool. I should probably go through and just kind of binge read some of these since I have so many of them. Alrighty, so that was 618. And then we're going into 619, and that's a really cool one. I love seeing Batman just doing some detective work, so that's a really cool cover. 620, kind of a freaky cover there. So next up, we have 622. The Batman Says Die. And then 623 is very similar, goofy cover there, and this weird looking Batman is sending his bat hound after the Joker. That's a fun looking Joker there. That kind of looks like the Joker in some of those old cartoons. Then we got 624. And then that's another one of those weird looking Batmans from that same sort of story there. And you got a weird looking Catwoman to go along with him. So, very interesting. I wonder what's going on here. Because this does not look like it is following the same continuity as those other books. We have 626 next. Very cool image. Batman diving off a building into Gotham City. Very cool. Kind of makes me think of playing the Arkham games. Just gliding through Gotham City. $628. I just really like a lot of the covers from this era. Like a lot of Batman in kind of stealth mode, just doing his detective thing. Love like kind of the darker sort of tone that these covers set. A lot of purples, reds that I'm seeing in there. So this is 629. $632. That one's cool. $634. That's a cool one with kind of that sketch look, and I love that purple sort of tone to it. Looks like there may be a deceased person there, and Batman doesn't seem to be helping them out, so very interesting. Wonder what's going on with Batman in that one. Alright, 635. Always love the black and white covers. This is exactly what I'm talking about with the covers from this era. Just very cool. Very noir. Makes me really want to crack these open and read some of these stories, you know? Like, sometimes I kind of ignore some of the books from this era nowadays because I see them so much, so I'm kind of, like, used to the covers. But now that I'm sitting here, like, filming this video, really, really looking at them, this is really making me want to just kind of sit back and read through some of these. So this is 636. That's a pretty wild one right there. Have no idea what's going on with that, but I'm intrigued. Definitely intrigued. So that was 36. And then we got 37 there. That's kind of freaky there. You got Robin down there and Batman. They're like holding on to this skull for dear life here. Interesting. Oh, and I have 2 copies of 637. Hey, check that out. I didn't even know this. I had 2 copies of 637. One of them's the direct, and one of them's the newsstand. So, this is 91. So, newsstands may have been kind of going out by that time. And even if they're, like, similar, you know what? If one's more valuable than the other, I got them both. And it looks like there might be, like, a slight coloring difference. Like, I don't know if maybe this direct edition is just more faded. So, maybe you guys can let me know, but looks like the colors on this newsstand are a lot deeper than the colors on the direct. So, is this one faded, or were they just printed differently? I'm assuming this one might be a little faded, but I don't know. Interesting to see, though. Okay. Well, I guess that kind of makes it cool when you have a duplicate, but at least it's like something kind of different, you know? Always makes collecting a little fun. Have those little differences, those little variants to look out for. So then next up we have 638. And not much to say there, just another great Batman cover for the Detective Comics run. So that was 38. Then we got 39. The Idiot Route, Part 2. I might have Part 1, not sure. But yeah, you got Batman and these, like, cavemen dudes are holding him down. So, yeah, cool one there. $642. I talked about this story in my last video because the first part was in Batman and it featured the first appearance of Renee Montoya. And so this is part 2, The Return of Scarface. I showed you just earlier, I have their first appearance. This is the ventriloquist and his little friend, Scarface, right there. So, very cool, weird characters, but I love it. I love all the weird quirkiness of Batman. Like, I love that Scarface is a character that could totally exist in real life. Just like so deranged and weird and like out of this world wacky, like would never happen, but it possibly could. Like there are people like that. And then we have Library of Souls. This is 643. I always really like that cover. I love anything to do with libraries or books. And you got this creepy looking dude here kind of stalking Batman. He's got a bloody axe. Oh no. What's going on there? And then we're getting into a key book, and this is a newsstand as well. So for 1992, not bad. This is Detective Comics 647. newsstand right there. And this is the first appearance of Stephanie Brown, who is mostly known for being Spoiler. She's also been Robin for a brief period of time. She's been Batgirl, so very prominent member of the Bat family. One that's kind of forgotten by most people, but yeah, there you go. First appearance of Stephanie Brown right there in Detective 647. And then we have 649. I think this might be the second appearance of Stephanie Brown, if I am not mistaken. So, cool to have that one as well. Always love the covers with Batman and Robin. So, very nice books. And I have a few books from Stephanie's brief little run of Robin, too, during the Robin run, but I'm not going to show those here. And then we have 654. Just another really cool, dope cover, a lot going on. And then we got 656. Got all these guns up there hiding in the police station, trying to take Batman out. Batman ain't gonna have it. And then we got 656. Always love the Kelly Jones art. And then we have another one of these 0 Hour books. So this is issue number 0, but it did not take place before all of the other books. So put it chronologically in October 1994. And then this one is cool. I spoke before about how much I love the embossed covers. So this is Detective Comics 682. And got another dope one, Batman standing on the gargoyle there, embossed cover with the new bat suit. Very sick. We're getting into another little key book. This is a key you can get for very cheap. It's a very affordable book. I see it in dollar bins all the time, and it's one to look out for. I'm really shocked with how popular the Penguin has been, that this book isn't getting more attention. So this is Detective Comics 683. And this is the first appearance of the Iceberg Lounge, so that's Penguin's nightclub, his sort of gang hideout / nightclub. And I'm really surprised that that book hasn't picked up a little bit more. Maybe it's just people just don't care. It's just the Iceberg Lounge. It's not like a character, it's just the Iceberg Lounge. But I mean, a big part of the Batman movie took place there. And Penguin's been getting really popular, so who knows what that book will do. Either way, I'm happy to have it. I'm a big fan of the Penguin. I've always thought that he was a really interesting character. So we're continuing. The follow-up to that book is 684. And you got another great cover there with the Penguin. And then 685. It's a really cool dragon back there with that purplish cover. I don't know who that dude is, but really cool. 689. Really cool orange cover there. You got that freaky looking lady. Another cool Batman and Robin Cityscape of Gotham cover. And this is 690. That's really cool with all that green going on there. Very nice. 693, really beautiful Poison Ivy cover, and you got bat symbol in the background there. Very cool, very, very pretty image there of Poison Ivy. 698, this is a cool one with Two-Face and Robin kind of chained up. And you got this kind of like gremlin looking thing over there. Very interesting. Doesn't look too good for them, so hopefully Batman can get there in time. 699, that's a cool one. Batman is drowning in a pool of blood. That's just so awesome, so metal. And then we have Detective Comics 703. This is a tie-in to The Final Night. If you know anything about Green Lantern, after the Emerald Twilight story where Hal Jordan, Green Lantern, was overtaken with fear and he became Parallax, it led into this, The Final Night, and this is where he eventually died and then later went on and became the Spectre. So the death of Hal Jordan took place in The Final Night. And it tied into Detective Comics, so we got it right there. And then we have 704. Just another cool one there. Not much to say about it, but I love all these covers. Alright, and then we got Detective Comics 712. Around this time, they kind of changed up the trade dress a little bit, and I really don't like how it looks during this era. It kind of looks more like a kid's sort of book, and the art style doesn't really help it. I don't know, I'm not the biggest fan of the art on this. It just kind of looks like a kid's book. Not much really going on there for me, but maybe that's just my opinion. Okay, and then we have a couple books from the No Man's Land saga. So I do have No Man's Land in omnibus form. I have all 3 parts of it back there on my shelf. And so I only have a couple of these single issues. This is Detective Comics 735. And I actually do have 2 copies of this. I already had one, and then a family member gave me like a little stack of comics, and there was another one of these in it, which, you know, the other one is kind of lower grade, so I have this one right here. But this apparently was the first appearance of Mercy Grave in mainstream continuity. I don't really know much about that character, but that is written on the back here. This is a key book, so I guess it's kind of cool. I'll have to figure out something to do with that other copy there. Alright, and then this, I believe, is the finale to No Man's Land, and this is 741. This is where the Joker comes back and does some really horrible, despicable things that I'm not going to talk about right now, but if you are interested, definitely check out No Man's Land. It went on for pretty much the whole year of 1999, and some very good Batman right there. It's a lot to commit to, but some very good Batman for sure. And then we have 742. I love that orange cover. Trying to... Right there, that looks good. Yeah, if I get it in the wrong light, it kind of looks yellow, but really love that orange cover with the bat signal in the background. And you got Batman being stealthy. I really love the covers where Batman's being stealthy. And then you see you got those dudes there in the window. They have no idea what's about to happen. And this is also the first appearance of Crispus Allen, who... If you read Gotham Central, he played a pretty big role in that, and he actually wound up dying and becoming the Spectre during Blackest Night, so pretty cool stuff. I remember when I was reading Gotham Central, I really liked his character, and I was very surprised to find out he had become the Spectre. Then we have Detective Comics 773. Very cool book. This says it's the first appearance of Jessica Midnight. That's a character don't really know anything about, but cool key issue of Detective Comics. And I'm definitely liking the trade dresses more as these are moving along. And then this one, I really do like the trade dress from this era right here. This is 803, and you got Penguin right there. Penguin is looking rather grumpy, and the woman behind him seems rather unamused by whatever's going on. So, yeah, I love this. I love Penguin. Got one of his little fine feathered thinks there down in the corner. Detective Comics 804. Really love that cover with Mr. Freeze right there. Very pretty art with the blue going on. And then we got 805. And you got a cool red sort of moment going on there with the shadows. Love that. That is very beautiful. Good stuff. Good stuff. And then you have 806. I love that. Got Batman. He looks like he's contemplating things. You got the rain pouring down on him over the dirty cities of Gotham. Very nice. And then this one is a bit of a key book. This is 809, and this is part of the war crimes story, which kind of takes place after war games, and this is the death of Stephanie Brown. She was held prisoner by Black Mask, and this is the issue where she dies at his hands, although it's revealed that she was not actually dead. She was saved by Leslie Tompkins and faked her death. And that was all done in hopes that Batman would quit being Batman. And in typical Batman fashion, Batman wasn't too happy about that. We'll just say. Batman was not too happy about that, man. I mean, him and Leslie made up, but that shit was intense. If you haven't read War Games, man, that was like Batman at his meanest. We got Detective Comics 817. Really cool there. Love that one. Always love the, like, black and white. And then this one, you got a little nice pop of color there. You know, I always love some black and white, a little pop of red. Always makes it stand out. Getting into some cool stuff soon. These are some covers I really like. We have 821 there. Very cool. I always just love the black and white covers. I'm not sure the artist who did these ones, but I really like their style. They do a lot of these black and white ones, and I dig them. $8.27, got Batman and he's holding a woman, and there's another little pop of color down there. Lovely artistic choice. You know, I love Batman, and never hurts to add a little pop of color to the black wardrobe. Detective Comics 843. This is like, I think where there was some version of Scarface that was a woman, like the original Scarface, that big weird looking dude. I can't remember his name off the top of my head, but pretty sure he died at one point, and then there were a couple women that took over and started using the Scarface doll, and so this was one of them. Very weird cover, if anyone likes stuff with puppets, but I really like it, and I do really like that trade dress as well. So that was 843, and then we got 845, and this one's really cool because you have cool all black sort of cover there with Batman and Zatanna. Always love seeing those two team up. So we got 851. This is part of the Last Rites story, and you have this very, very nice image of Nightwing in the Batcave standing in front of the bat suits. And then this is another story that went between Batman and Detective Comics. So I talked about this a little bit in my last video. This is Detective Comics 853. And this was a story called Whatever Happened to the Caped Crusader. Part 1 was in Batman. Part 2 is in Detective. So this is part 2. And if you missed that video, I'll just kind of explain it a little bit. So this was a pretty cool story written by He Who Shall Not Be Named, and it was about Batman in sort of an alternate timeline where he had passed away and all his friends are sort of at his funeral giving eulogies for him, and a lot of their stories kind of don't line up, so it's kind of fun and entertaining if you're a Batman fan. And we also have a pretty sick variant cover of that same book. This is an Andy Kubert cover, and you got Batman there as he's kind of lying lifeless over the city of Gotham. Very, very nice. So 2 copies, 2 different covers of Detective 853. And then there is a brief period of time where Detective Comics became a Batwoman book, and so I have a couple of those. This is 855, and I just really like that cover. I really like all the wild colors going on. Very trippy. And then this one does not have a lot of wild colors going on. A lot more noir looking. This is 858, and I still really dig that. So this is 20 years ago. It looks like she may be a prisoner of war right there. And you got her down there in a very Batman-esque pose. And very cool. And I haven't really read much of Batwoman, so I would be interested to check that out. Oh, this next one is cool. This is one of my favorite covers for Detective Comics. I love the covers from this era, and I want to collect more of them from Scott Snyder's Black Mirror story. This is a story where Dick Grayson became Batman, and it's really, really cool. And the covers were done by Jock, who is an artist I really like. I always try to pick up his stuff when I find it, and so this right here is 871, and this is the cover that you typically see for the trade paperback of the Black Mirror. This is not the most famous cover from that story. I believe that's 880, which is the sickest Joker cover you'll ever see. Maybe not. There are a lot of good Joker covers, but in terms of the modern age, pretty sick. You've probably seen it. It's on t-shirts, posters. Yeah, this one's really cool, and I see people spending a little bit extra money on this book, but I got my copy for $2, so I'm super happy about that. I'm glad to have this in my collection, and I freaked out a little bit when I found that for $2, not gonna lie. And then this is another one from that same era. This is 874. Very cool. Not Jock, but still. Very nice picture of Batman there. And then I think that is it. Everything else I have after that is from the New 52. And I've been filming for almost an hour. I'm going to see how I can cut this up and sort of, streamline it a little bit. But it seems like you guys have been really enjoying the collection videos from the feedback I've been getting. It seems like people really kind of enjoy the longer videos. I've had some people say they like how it feels less rushed, and I agree. I really enjoy kind of taking my time and giving a little more detail about each book and each cover I find interesting, and I don't really do well when it comes to kind of more fast-paced, more scripted type of content. I really like kind of the more chill, just kind of chit-chat about some books sort of thing. So, I love making bigger videos. I love writing, sort of writing out a bit of a script or an outline and sort of digging into a topic. That's all stuff I really enjoy, but it's just been really nice to kind of kick it, show some comics, and I love hearing your feedback, what you guys have to say about the books I'm showing, maybe kind of show a little bit more of my unfiltered personality to you, and I like it. I like the chats. I like going live. I think I'm better in just kind of a more unscripted, longer format. So I definitely want to try doing more stuff like this. So that was it for my Batman and Detective Comics Volume 1, all before the New 52, and then that kind of becomes its own beast of a thing that I don't think I'm gonna make a video on, but I do want to make a video kind of doing Batman one-shots and mini-series. And I do have a lot of other really fun things planned, so I hope you enjoyed seeing those books I had to show. Anyways, I'll see you soon for another video. I'm not sure if I'm going to do the collection video next. I might want to kind of switch things up a little bit and maybe do more of a structured video. I do have quite a few ideas on the back burner that I'm working on, so try to get something out in the next couple days for you. So if you enjoyed this, thank you. As always, let me know what you thought of those books. If you have any of them, if there's anything that I'm missing that you think I should be on the hunt for, let me know. And as always,